After 3 weeks of jungle life, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here has finally come to an end, with McFly's Danny Jones being crowned as King of the Jungle. Joining me now for a season look back is Felicity Cross from The Sun. Flick, walk me through this win from Danny Jones.
I think it's sort of almost like the most obvious win that anyone has ever expected in I'm a Celebrity history, but at the same time is incredibly deserved. So why did everyone think that Danny would win? Well, first of all, he's won every single program that he's ever been on telly. So if there was a British TV version of the EGOT, with the Emmys, the Grammys, and all of that, Danny Jones is pretty much near to winning it. So he won The Masked Singer earlier this year when he was unmasked as Piranha. His act on The Voice won. That's him alongside Tom Fletcher. And obviously now he's won I'm a Celebrity. So pretty much just strictly left to win. But this comes off a background of the McFly boys all doing brilliantly on reality TV. So I think we all expected him to be king of the jungle, to be honest.
Flick, yes, Danny Jones is a winner in his own right, not just from the show, but from other things like The Voice, etc., as well as The Masked Singer, as you said before. But it's not just Danny Jones, it's the rest of the McFly boys. What else have they won in the TV world of Britain?
Yeah, so the McFly boys have all done incredibly well when it comes to reality TV. Harry, the drummer, he has won Strictly 3 times. So that's the Children in Need special, the Christmas special, and then full Strictly. And then Dougie, the bassist, he has won I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And then Tom, his wife, Giovanna, she has won I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And then Tom and Danny together have won The Voice. Their act, Ava, she won the series earlier this year. And so they're all basically incredible at reality TV. In fact, it's only Tom that didn't win the series that he entered. So he tried his hand at Strictly. And I think he went out mid-series. So I'm sure he'll be really gutted about that one.
So we might see Tom entering the 2025 I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, just so that they've all won something. But Flick, what is it about the McFly boys that has, captured Britain?
Yeah, they just absolutely have. And never mind that fan base. As you say, it's captured the whole country. I think the first thing is they burst into the spotlight when they were all sort of mid to late teens. So we've grown up with them. So many people have seen them bloom into lovely men. And that means that we've also learned a lot about them over the years. So Harry, another show that he did was Race Across the World. He did that with his mum. And in that, we learned so much about his relationship with his family and the struggles that he faced with fame. Similarly, with Danny, how we've seen in the jungle, we know a lot about these boys through all the different programs they've done over the years and the way that they live their lives on social media as well. They're just really hands on with their fans, and we all feel like we know them really well. Crucially, as well, they've all kept their noses quite clean. There's not been any real scandals for the band. So we know a lot about them, but everything that we know about them is good, which in today's modern world of celebrity is a real feat.
Mm. It was kind of clear that Danny would be a bit of a personality win regardless, if he didn't actually take out the King of the Jungle title from this season, because he was just himself all the way. But like, what do you kind of see for Danny post I'm a Celebrity? Do you think he's going to be ITV's now #1 fan favourite, and they'll throw him into every kind of commercial opportunity that he can take?
Yeah, I think definitely. And that's what we're hearing from our TV sources. So he's already an ITV name because of his work on The Voice, but they're seeing more projects for him. Certainly the McFly boys, all of them. And similarly with Busted, Matt Willis and his wife Emma, they're big TV names. So the whole Busted and McFly family are doing really, really well for ITV. And certainly Danny will now be championed. His wife, obviously, she's incredibly gorgeous. And we saw those beautiful moments in the jungle with her and Cooper, his little boy, when they went to visit. And we wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of family project as well. But I think what's really important to remember is one of the things Danny's taken from his experience is he said he wanted to spend more time with his family. So maybe a bit less out on the road with the McFly boys and a little bit more at home. But that can, of course, convert into something really lovely for telly as well.
Of course. Flick, has there been any backlash from viewers that found that it was too predictable for I'm a Celebrity to be naming yet another McFly bandmate as a winner of anything, but let alone this show?
Yeah, I mean, I did have to think to myself, cynical hat on, the fact that he got that secret mission in the very last
Yeah.
episode. I did think, oh, setting this up for a Danny win. Um, Look, there's always going to be people that think that certain shows are rigged for and against their favorites, but when it's someone as lovely as Danny, I don't think they mind too much. He did beat Colleen by 10%, which in reality TV is quite a substantial win. So I think that everyone would just be happy for him.
Well, most betting sites did have Danny the favourite to win pretty much the whole time, but did that change or fluctuate at all throughout the season?
Yeah, so Colleen also saw a real late surge, as did the Reverend. So it kind of tallied usually with the episodes. So if someone had done a trial, that definitely saw a boost in their betting, people backing them. I think it's just that old thing of if you're getting the airtime and boosting your popularity, that really easily converts into sort of people placing bets at bookies as well. So,
Mm.
but certainly Danny was always a favourite to win. We know from the background of I'm a Celebrity, this kind of likely lads, good time guys, always do really well on the show, which is why, of course, McFly do so well. But also, plucky women like Colleen do well. Think of people like Scarlett Moffat, Vicky Patterson, past winners. So I always thought those two would be up near the end because they just fit the mold perfectly.
And they were two of the jungle contestants that actually threw themselves into challenges quite a lot. You know, you could say anything about either of them, but that was one of the main things that they did. They were both cool, calm, and collected in everything that they did, which was just hilarious because most of us would be the absolute opposite. But that final challenge flick with, well, the second final challenge with all the snakes in the cage, I thought that was one of the scariest, one of the challenges, trials that I would never be able to do. On a kind of a serious note, what happens if someone is bitten? Because it's close quarters in there. They're sitting in a very small enclosed space with about five snakes on them.
Yeah, and that moment where that one was eyeing Danny directly in the eyes, I thought the same. I thought, crikey, this is the scariest one yet. They do have the medic team on standby. They have all the antidotes needed. So should anyone get bitten, they'd be able to act immediately. We did see earlier in the series when Colleen had that cockroach
Oh
burrow in
yeah.
her ear, they're immediately on hand to get it sorted. So, but God, can you imagine if they'd have had a snake bite live on the I'm a Celebrity final? It would have had
Oh, the
people
ratings
saying
would
in
soar. ITV would
Australia,
be absolutely loving it, and they'd be full on to air that.
amazing. Australia tourism, maybe not so much, but
I would never go back. I'd be cancelling my flights in April. But Flick, there's been a bit of drama surrounding Talisa. I think she was the third jungle contestant out, and she
yeah.
didn't attend the final last night, and she hasn't really been, on Instagram or promoting the show like most of them do at this point. But what's the update there? Do we know much about why she left Australia?
Yeah, I mean, I think this came as a shock to everyone, and certainly at that late stage of the series, a real drama. Um, so Talisa had been out the limelight for a long time before I'm a Celebrity, at least 2 or 3 years, and this was sort of seen as her comeback. But that also meant that it brought back her social media, it brought back that public interaction. And I think that she came out and suddenly was completely overwhelmed by the reaction. So positive as well as negative. People that were shocked that she was out early, potentially she was a bit disappointed not to have stayed in longer. But
Mm.
certainly what we're hearing from Talisa herself is that she was just completely overwhelmed by being back in the limelight. And she just felt that she would be better off back at home comforts. And she's sort of not really going on social media. She's just surrounding herself with her friends and family. But it was a real mystery for a while. And certainly there were some rumors that she'd fallen out with her friends over the appearance and the way that they'd looked after her social media. But she has quickly disputed those rumours and said that wasn't the case. It's just that she couldn't cope with the fame that came with I'm a Celebrity, which
Mm.
is interesting because so many people go on it to sort of boost their fame. But for her, maybe she'll be heading back into that quieter life that she's now got up near Manchester.
Mm. It would be so overwhelming. You'd have this kind of, shock value of leaving just the quiet oasis of jungle life and then coming back into the thick of it when you've got cameras and media and your old jungle mates in your face and DMs everywhere. But on the note of kind of capitalizing on that fame flick. We know that Danny will obviously have a fair few projects with ITV, but do you see any other contestants coming out of the show with any kind of projects being thrown their way? Because all eyes are kind of really on if GK and the Rev start a show together or something together.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what we're hearing is a sort of travelogue kind of format is going to be put to them. Another idea that's being put to them, we believe, is along the lines of GK teaching him about Gen Z life, him teaching her about the church, that fish out of water kind of vibe, which they obviously were already owning completely, weren't they, in camp? Um, but I think that everyone would love to see that. And for ITV, that's ideal kind of fodder because it's
Yeah.
bringing up a new name for them, tapping into those younger audiences, which they're so desperate for, as well as, nurturing that older audience that obviously loved the
Mm.
Rev. But also watch out for Colleen. She's got a big future at ITV. We're hearing they're looking at her for Loose Women, as well as This Morning, that kind of daytime space, because she's such a warm person, isn't she? And
Mm.
everybody loves her. So
Well
yeah, big
deserved, I
futures for
think.
those.
I think any project that it comes out of all those contestants is well deserved. They were all just so hilarious in their own way. And selfishly, I want to see GK and the Rev do something more. They were such an unlikely pair and such kind of warm people on the show. But Flick, just finally, what was your takeaway for the season as someone that covers this every single year? How did it differ from every other season that you've covered?
I know that they all had a lovely experience because they all got on so well. I would have liked a bit more drama, a bit more beef. I refuse to believe that people can really get on that well under those conditions for 23 days. Apparently they did, but I would have just liked to see a little bit more conflict because, when you're sat at home on your sofa, that's what you want to see, isn't it? I
Mm.
do think, though, that lineup has really raised the bar in terms of TV casting. We've got Celebrity Big Brother coming up at Easter for ITV, and it will be interesting to see if they manage to match this lineup because, God, it was great, wasn't it? Such big names.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was funny that they all got along. But I think maybe the more spicy characters of Dean and Talisa maybe got out a bit too early, and then the rest of them were all just happy as Larry to keep going as best friends. But Felicity Cross, thank you so much for your time today and all your expert analysis this I'm a Celebrity season.
No problem. We'll miss it, but it'll be back in a year. And don't forget the reunion show is on Friday, so we can see what
Of
they get up to at that
course.
posh hotel as well.
And you and I will be back when Traitors begins.
Yes. Exciting.